What's up? February 29th, Leap Day. Pick Central. Myself, Big Ev, Marty, Clemmer, and Smitty. Phil, we have a read or no? No?
Nope.
All right. Bottom third threw me off. All right, quick one today, kind of a half hour. A couple different headlines to jump into. LeBron's fourth quarter comeback. Anybody watch that live?
Didn't see it live, but
I didn't even know what happened.
No, it was. I didn't see it live. But
I saw a couple
19
of
points in the fourth quarter.
Yeah, I saw a couple of tweets where it's like, nobody has been this good this long for our career. Like, cherish LeBron. It's like, yeah, we know. Like he's.
I don't think people know. I think people do take him for granted for how great he's actually been for this long.
for sure.
And he's saying no.
Well, no, it just was kind of like no, duh.
No, I think people are still like you just aren't. We take him for granted. They make fun of the Lakers. They make fun of him all the time. It's like what he's doing at 40 years old is fucking crazy.
Well, it's really it's the combination of him doing it at 40 and him just been doing it since he literally was 18.
You know what'll help him next year when he actually is? He's 39 right now. So he and I know I understand what you're saying, but I think that when you hit 40 and then you do this shit, because why wouldn't he be this good next year? He's proven nothing else. I think then people will take notice.
Next year will be funny to see. I can't wait for this NBA season to be over. So I just want to see what he does next year because he's a free agent.
Yeah, I just don't think
It's fascinating.
I just don't think his son's going to go to the draft. That's like the big thing.
Oh.
No, but he could.
Could.
Even LeBron was talking that back a little bit, like in interviews.
I mean, the heart thing really threw off kind of like his trajectory and like
But
everything.
also transfer.
They're bad. It's a weak draft. What do you mean he transferred?
Should transfer.
Are you mean
yeah.
you mean to tell me out of this David Stern frozen envelope, ousting Sam Hinkie in favor of the Colangelos, rigged NBA, Scott Foster, Tim Donahue league, that no team is going to say, hey, guess what? I'm going to draft Bronny second round. I'm going to take a good team. And LeBron, hey, you want to come over, play with your son? We'll figure it out.
That's what I say. I do think teams should try to hold him hostage. Like I think
I'm on that camp.
certain teams should just hold.
Why wouldn't you? Especially if you're a good team.
Right, and
Or
never
a bad
just
team, even
never
more so.
release him. Never. He has a roster spot all year long.
Why the Hornets shouldn't do it,
or
the Wizards.
Tell me why the fucking Sixers shouldn't do it.
You guys are good.
Why not be? What do you mean good? We haven't made it past the second round since the fucking George W. Bush administration.
No, I see Smitty's point. Like the point is like
yeah.
you just
won LeBron.
get LeBron. Yeah, you draft him, you get LeBron.
I don't think you'll get him. I think the bad teams are going to want him more. It won't
Either
fall to you.
team. I think that's a good playbook.
Any team.
Anyone that has a
literally.
20th pick or later should draft Bronny. And he's like, it's not like he was projected to be like top 20 pick this year.
I don't think you can use a first rounder on him. I would use a second round.
I don't know, man.
It's a weak
Second
draft.
ra- second
I do know
round
that.
If you're insuring LeBron,
second round picks mean nothing. Zilch. Like you could get like a unicorn like Jokic in the second round, but at some point these college kids, when you get like the 52nd pick or higher, you're just like, don't draft me. I'd rather go undrafted so I could pick my landing spot. Like agents will talk kids out of teams out of drafting them so they could pick their spots.
The only question is if Bronny, goes into the draft or not. That's the only. I think if he goes in the draft, he's absolutely going to be drafted. I would.
well, that's where I think teams should talk to Bronny directly. Hey, LeBron, where do you want to go? Do you like the Knicks? Do you want to go to New York? And why wouldn't the Knicks waste a second round pick on Bronny just to ensure LeBron might come for cheap?
If it meant getting LeBron, I mean, yeah, of course.
Exactly.
I want everyone to also know Bronny's not dog shit, like where people are kind of being like, oh, he's average, because they look at his averaging like he's averaging like 5 points, I think.
It's like, yeah, he's like 6, like
He's
2 and 2, but he played in like 20 minutes. Yeah,
Like he doesn't
start.
He literally had a heart attack. Like he literally went to cardiac arrest, and he is he's still very raw too. Like he hasn't found you can see how he makes athletic plays. Have you watched him yet?
Yeah, no, he's a very athletic guard. Like he can shoot threes.
Very good defense.
Yeah, he's like you see those clouds like steal for a dunk like LeBron.
Yeah, but like
he's like 6.
How would that work in the NBA? Like
Already-
we're talking like 8 months from now.
Well, also, did you see?
No, I
Did you
think
see LeBron
he's
when he
thinking
was a
that he has,
rookie?
like,
he
real-
still grew
he's
into his
not
body.
some literal charity case.
Right.
Yeah.
He's a real prospect who, before the cardiac arrest, thought would be a first-round pick in this draft. Now they're projecting him more like a second rounder in like the next year's draft. Like they're assuming basically he's going to come back.
If he
But the hard thing has been a huge like but he also we've seen stock rise, and like if he came back next year and just was like a stud, like he would go in the first round. And I think his skill set is capable of that.
One thing to add from my perspective is like he has the perfect NBA tools. I think he like awesome guard defender, shoots the shit out of the ball, good passer. The only thing that like really is a deficit is his height. And this year sucks, but if you've been watching USC lately too, they have gotten better as a team. They're competitive with the top half of the Pac-12. Their record sucks, but they're like a Georgetown from 2021 that could potentially steal a bit out of that Pac-12.
I think somebody's going to steal a bit out of that Pac-12.
Yeah, I do too.
I still can't. I know they got racked last night. I still can't quit Arizona State.
Yeah, you're addicted, man.
Those guards are very.
They were covering like the whole like.
I know those guards are just very.
Until
talented.
they just went Arizona went on the run the last like 2-3 minutes. They were covering like most of the second half.
I'm retiring from betting against South Carolina.
Yeah, they're brutal.
They I don't know.
Michi Johnson he was at Ohio State. He's so good. They just got a good team.
They're just good, and
They just have a good team.
I admit I am wrong about them. They're just good. And St. John's is also going to make the tournament.
Yeah, I wanted to touch on that. So the Big East bubble. I don't know how much you guys have been paying attention to, but these Big East fan bases are like crazy, and we love them. But like Providence is getting out in front of themselves. They're like Cola can't read. Cola cooked you. That game was 20-4 to start the game.
Yeah, they wired.
Just shut up. Like I know it's on the road, but you got cooked. St. John's got it. They're calling every day. They're out in front of it. We're going to make the tournament, this and that.
They blew them out wire.
They're right there. I just don't think they have enough like marquee wins. But the bubble is as always like a bunch of piles of crap. It's just who can be the shiniest or the less stinkiest of all of it.
See, I'm almost going to conspiracy theory for some of those teams like St. John's and them because it's the Big East sort of it's so top heavy. Like they're basically projecting right now there could be only like 3 bids, which would be nuts. They're like they're saying Seton Hall is really bubble. I just don't see a way.
I could see Seton Hall playing themselves out.
I don't see a way where they only put in 3 Big East teams. Like somebody will get like whether it's St. John's or Seton Hall or both or it's like somebody from that group is gonna get in. Like I think they'll get at least 4.
Oh,
one login.
Friend
to all.
Yeah, I just think the Big East is a little more top heavy than we realize. Like everybody kept being like, "Oh, it's loaded." Like when Butler was flirting with being, like they've
fallen off for sure.
It's got 3 teams at the top that are the core, and their top 3 are as good as anybody: Marquette, Creighton, and UConn. But from there, it's a significant kind of.
There's like a world where they could have basically 3 top 4 seeds, and then have no one else.
Right. Which is, I think they've done in the past a couple of times. Like Nova and UConn were like really high, and the rest of that Big East was like nowhere to be found. What?
Are we allowed to talk about the tweet from a certain NFL player?
I think so. I mean,
I don't see why not.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. It's funny.
Antonio
funny tweet.
Look good in that
It's
picture,
like one of the funniest tweets
It's a funny tweet. It's a funny tweet.
I don't know where he got that.
It's unrealistic because, as Clem said, the office is way too clean, and there's no way Dave would be associated working in the blogging area. But it's a funny tweet.
I took offense to it. I took a lot of. I would never wear a bow tie to work.
You'd be the first guy.
I probably would be actually.
Where did he?
Antonio Brown.
The only guy that would wear.
No, I don't like bow ties.
Antonio Brown 10 out of tweet.
I mean, that's just fun. Like, that's hysterical.
We need the caption too.
Ooh, is that from somewhere?
Where did he get that?
That's just AI.
That's AI generated.
I haven't seen a cracker like that since the Michael Rappaport deposition video.
Yeah, those are.
That's him talking about Jerry Thornton, pretty much, right?
I guess.
Isn't he the one like keeps blogging about Tom Brady?
Yeah,
like just Antonio Brown, Jerry Thornton being at odds. So funny.
It's a good tweet.
It's a great tweet.
It's just hilarious.
Yeah.
A lot of people would be like, that wasn't on my bingo card for 2024. That actually might have made mine. Jerry Thornton can set some people off.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, he's the best. I'll say it. He's my favorite blogger at Barstool.
Old Balls has his
way. He gets in the fucking mud. For you probably know, for like the New England beat reporters and shit, like he goes at them.
Yeah, no, I mean, there's a reason he's been, one of the top bloggers of the company for 20 years. Like he's a really good writer.
He's the GOAT.
And if you're a Patriots fan, he covers the team as well. And if you hate the Patriots like I do, it's a fun read too.
Every team should have a quote blogger like Jerry.
Like Jerry,
or somebody like
blogger
Jerry.
here that any fan listens to like a recap after a game from them.
Yes.
Like,
Yeah.
if anyone else did like a recap of their team, it's like this is stupid.
He's able to make it so it's not dry.
Marty,
Yeah.
are you missing someone with the Mets? People listen to him after every game.
Frank, of course, but Frank's not, blogging game recaps. It's a little different.
Videos.
Okay.
Yeah, if you're looking for
It's a
history of the
video
day,
recap.
Totally different.
if you're looking for history of the day, you got Frank's blog.
Frank,
they were
give him credit. Frank and Jerry are the only two people who throw out a reference from like the Cold War in a recap.
Well, leaving me out on that one. I'll do a Khrushchev joke here and there to mix things up.
Shout out to him and SVP.
Nikolai.
Officially bearing the hatchet once and for all.
Frank's greeting when he walked up and he's like, "Hey, how you doing? Why do you hate my teams?" Like sorry, we're going right to the kitchen right.
He doesn't care.
No, he doesn't. That was an interesting.
That was a good.
Meek, are you allowed to say the call Frank had with the Mets staff or behind the scenes?
I don't know if they made that public or not.
Okay.
So I have no idea.
Yeah.
It can only
Nothing bad. It'll probably be made public, but it's very funny.
Can only
so funny.
Also, he was.
Yeah, he got in trouble for like arson, basically.
Well, that's what the call was about.
Yeah, I mean,
That's not really fair. I was there.
Yeah.
Like that's not you pin that on Frank. It's not fair.
listen.
There's a fan. There was a
Set a jersey on
or
fire.
something
I think that
after
was
a
funny.
game.
in a parking lot across the street from City Field. We burned a jersey to like try to get rid of the jinx of the team. I don't really believe in that stuff. Everyone was happy doing it, so God bless.
And Clemmer, you were right because
regret
they
that,
traded
like,
everyone
in
like a
my
week
mouth.
later.
Yeah, I didn't.
Season
What a
was over.
shock! Us burning clothes didn't help the team win.
So whatever, I'll say it. So Frank and Jenks had a call with behind the scenes Mets people, and apparently this is legendary, but this is how it went. They were telling Frank like, thin ice, blah blah blah, like you got to watch out, or like be banned from the stadium. Just all typical PR stuff. And Frank just goes, "Why did you change the fucking layout of behind home plate? They haven't won since." And everyone's just like silent. It was just like behind the scenes people, just HR people. It wasn't like grounds crew. It wasn't anybody.
Also, I mean,
That's public,
if
too,
they want
just so you know.
literally,
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, I had heard about that.
if the Mets want to be public enemy number one, please ban.
Can
Frank.
you imagine?
Oh my God.
Oh, that would be a
man.
terrible.
If you want that smoke, New York
Right
Mets,
now, it seems like he's
ban Frank the Tank and
I
see
can
what
only imagine.
see what happens.
Because Gary,
Gary,
Keith, and Ron have their finger on like the pulse. I think they're the best broadcast team in the country.
the best.
The best. They would have to address it. Like, can you imagine in the beginning of the first inning, Gary being like, "Well, there's a lot of controversy here. If you hear the chants,
I mean,
free
Twitter would just-
Frank," and like, imagine they have to keep stopping the game because the people in the outfield just keep dropping the banner that says free Frank.
There'd be a literal protest in
Yeah.
the parking
Oh,
lot.
there would be absolutely.
I
There'd
just
be thousands of people would
Yes.
be like, "Fuck you! We're never paying a dime again if Frank the Tank is not allowed in the
There would be a picket line for sure.
100%."
He's close to getting banned from the Devils and the Mets.
Nah, but I'll never. They might do it. It'll never last. Because the heat they will face, they'll flip it on their ass. In
they
2
almost
seconds.
need it. And then he's just, can you imagine whatever that music for the TikTok they cut of like the bad boy coming back?
Oh, him.
Oh my God, like fucking NWO
honestly,
or
just
like
that,
Steve Austin.
that clip of it'll be forever. That clip of Tank walking down the street. It's like, "I'm the king of New York, mellow." That's the best clip of all time. I
Hey,
think,
honest question. If the Mets find a way to win a World Series in Frank's lifetime,
Yeah.
Frank on the float?
he should be.
He should be. There's no
What do you
chance.
mean flip?
Well, I don't.
Is Frank on the float?
On the floor.
Oh, on the
I don't know.
float?
Wait, why
I
do
don't
you
know.
guys
Somebody
say
should.
He should be.
I think
He's
he
the
should
most mean person about.
Oh, he's
Yeah,
he's an icon.
Yeah, but he's
Of course
a fan.
an icon. 1,000%.
And he's
Should
and
have
he
a
cares.
fan. They
He
should have a
cares.
fan float.
the amount of.
It depends how he is during that run. If he's still saying they're going to suck the entire time,
That's fair.
I don't think he deserves.
And he
He
was
is trying to do
flips
one
in
big
his
reverse jinx.
national
I think you
anthem
put
Mets.
25 people on a float, the 20 longest season ticket holders, and then 5 like super fans like that.
Clemmer, there's a
And I
better,
think Frank would qualify in the super fan.
Absolutely. Oh, yes.
Be number one.
He's the most iconic fan in the country for any sport.
I just hope they don't put the fucking Skells like cowbell guy. That guy's the worst.
Oh no! How about Pin Man?
And man sucks too.
What is it? The 7th inning army. The
Seventh.
line on.
7 line.
Oh,
He also
those
should
guys
fucking-
are the
That guy
worst.
should be in jail. The dog.
Yeah, the
Oh,
dog.
but they're allowed to throw out
Why,
first
what's
pitches
that?
in Philly.
The dog guy I have a problem.
7-line
with.
army.
7 line army's fine. The dog guy is an awful
I
person.
thought that was like a
It's
clothing line.
fans.
Fans.
No, it's fans.
Do you think Frank is as as encompasses being a New York fan as much as anybody you know?
He's a Dolphins fan.
No.
Yeah, but I think not to again like
he is your when
not
Frank,
to knock Frank, but there are a million of those guys. Like the guy Jerome from the Bronx used to have like breakdowns, and I think they won the World Series, and he called the next day and was telling Mike, I'm worried about the pitching, and Frances is like, you just won, dude. Like that's what they do. Like I had a guy. There was one time I remember calling my dad, like had a laugh. He was nervous about the Knick game too, but I think it was the day of Game 7 of the finals. We were driving around, and the guy's like, Mike, I'm really nervous. Mike, I don't know. Like he was going in for heart procedure. And he's like, all right, like Evan, calm down. Like you'll be all right. Like that's what this area is. That's what these people are. They're literal fanatics.
I think you just said, you agree with me then.
Yeah, he's up there, but I'm not gonna say dime a dozen, but there are people as passionate as Frank.
I picture a hardcore New York fan is just more Goomba.
Yeah,
Frank.
If the Mets won a World Series, Frank, the next year would be like, oh, this is it, championship hangover. Oh, here we go. This is what happens when you win one.
I'll never see my team repeat.
Yeah, he doesn't.
That's what I say. Be like, they're never gonna repeat. Like it'll never win.
Right.
No one ever wins back to back.
Right.
He would. Yeah, I don't know. He wouldn't know what to do.
We got to talk about Marty's video, too.
There's a greater chance of Marty getting a hit off Garrett Cole than Frank being on a float.
Marty's video, go watch it.
Apologize.
Go watch it immediately. It's fantastic. Dana did such a good job editing
How many
it.
at-bats are you at right now?
It's my first. Well, I mean, Trevor Bauer came out, but yesterday I think was 4 or 5.
5 at bats. You got a hit. But the thing that impressed me the most, Marty.
So what are you holding for now? You have 10 at-bats banked that we've seen?
If you count Bauer right now, it is.
Well, did you want to say that? I don't know if I'd say that right now.
I mean, it's 7 million people saw it already. It's not like it's.
Right.
What did I tell you? Where did I text you?
What?
Like it was the craziest thing he's ever done.
Yes, you did text me. Yes. I can't believe you put that out.
Outrageous.
So right now,
me and Smitty both said how I think that's going to be legitimately hinder him from getting signed.
Yeah. Right now, I went 2 for 9 with a walk against Bauer. That's going to come out from my version later on. And then yesterday, I was either 1 for 5 or you could say 2 for 5.
1 for 5. I'm going to say.
So what are you in the bank right
And I'm not
put
doing
them all
it.
in play though, which I thought was
Hitting
the most
300?
impressive part.
You
Right
hitting?
now, I'm like 3 for 14 with a walk.
But not a lot of strike. Bauer struck out a few times, but Weiser did not strike out or struck out once or just once.
What impressed me.
There's a lot of balls in play, which is impressive.
What impressed me so much wasn't the hit. It was that every at bat you were fighting. Like you belonged in there.
Yeah.
Like you really impressed me a lot. Real talk. If you were in the major leagues, I don't think you'd bat 100 because tape would come out, people would find a hole and just swing whatever. But I'll say this: you wouldn't embarrass yourself that much. Like you were able to like foul stuff off, and you were able to like make contact. Was it great contact all the time? No, but like it's against a major league pitcher. You did not embarrass yourself. When you go to I'll tell you this, Marty, this is the nicest compliment you're ever going to get from me.
Okay.
When you go to a stadium and you watch a baseball game, you're not in the top 1% of people that get a hit off someone. You're in the top 0.1%. You're in the top. Yeah, that's how.
That's fair.
And because
That's fair.
you're in a stadium of 50,000 people, you're one of 50 people that could go out there and not embarrass themselves.
I'm gonna be honest. This was the funnest thing I've ever done in my content-wise at Barstool because it's a dream to face MLB pitchers. One, they're also in such a lose-lose situation. These pitchers, like I know that,
Right.
and I appreciate Greg doing that. Like he's like just got traded to Red Sox. He's like getting ready for his season. He doesn't have to face a schmuck that's gonna tweet out every time he gets like something happens to him. But and that's where I think it's so funny what the internet is right now. It's like because I think they all are just like think I'm a schmuck, so they're like, oh, MLB pitchers are that thing's a myth. Like hitting a baseball players isn't hard now. It's like no, it's still hard.
Well, you're not right off the street either. You played college baseball.
Yeah, and
It's a
people
big
People
difference.
are now giving me credit for D1, which I'm fine with. If you
Yeah.
want to give me D1 credit, I'm okay with it. But
I mean,
there's-
the D3 pitchers, you had a couple guys storming in the 90s D3.
yeah,
for
yeah,
sure.
yeah, of course. But it's just funny where it's like can't figure out what they want. They're not sure if it's impressive or that guy sucks.
It's impressive.
No, I know it is because
Yeah.
I faced him. He's throwing 95, and I'm telling you that sweeper he has is one of the most disgusting things you'll ever see. And it stopped my brain, and I just jumped out of the way and went right down the middle. Like it was incredible. But I did I'll be honest. I impressed myself that I did that.
I know a lot of people might not know who Greg Weishart is. He went from the Yankees to Red Sox in the Verdugo deal. I know for a fact the Red Sox are like are high on him just from like what they're saying about him. I think he's going to be like in middle relief in them all year. So this isn't just like this is a guy that's going to be a major league pitcher.
Struck out Ohtani twice.
Yeah. Like
Nah, he's a legit guy for
he's
sure.
a legit major league player.
Sure.
And you went in there and you really held your own. It wasn't just the hit. It was the fact that you were battling, you were 2 strikes, you were fouling stuff off, you had some clean contact, and when we went to Savannah Bananas and you had that BP, you were consistently hitting ropes. You're not gonna hit, you don't hit power, but you never say that. You're always like, I'm a contact
never
guy.
hit power.
Yep.
Ever. I'm always singles, and then if it goes down the line, I could maybe run out a double. I
thought you did a great. And the video, by the way, the way Dane edited, it's only 15 minutes. It is just so well. Dane is such a good editor. People really should watch this. It was fantastic.
So Weiser texted me this morning, and I was like, just letting you know, people actually liked him in the video too, because he didn't like when he said fuck after, it was genuine. Like everything was just funny from him. He's like, it's gonna be a tough time going to spring training. And he goes, dude, I'm getting ripped in the clubhouse already. He goes, everyone saw it. A lot of guys were saying that your bat skills were surprising. But he's like, it was a blast. Thank you for it all. Like, he's
awesome.
He's a good guy. And he's a Long Island guy.
How was King of JUCO?
He's exactly how he is on the internet.
All right.
He screams.
I'm not sure if that's a great thing.
Yeah. No, he was really nice.
First thing I was like a douchebag.
He was screaming the entire time.
I enjoy his content, but
They're like the top. He's like one of the top baseball creators too. Like, it's crazy.
So no spoilers, but who do you face next?
I'm not sure which we're putting first yet, but right now it's JP Sears and Kyle Freeland.
So JP Sears, by the way, is probably going to be the number 3 starter for the A's this year. He was in the rotation all last year, a legitimate major league starting pitcher. And then Freeland was on Team USA.
Yeah,
these are not.
Freeland just got a 5-year.
Freeland's Rocky's ace, right?
I think he got a 5-year, $80 million.
Yes, he was
deal
on the World Baseball Classic.
Been a starter for a while. Yeah.
Yes. Oh yeah, no, he's a legitimate.
Do you think other pitchers are going to come? Like baseball players have been a little quiet since yesterday after I put it out. But do you think any pitcher is going to come out being like, I need to put this guy down, or they're like, fuck this?
No, I think it's a lose-lose.
Yeah, I think there's no real upside from it.
But also, like, I do think it does. Like getting your name out there doesn't hurt sometimes.
I think absolutely. It might not be the regular season. It been the off season or right before spring training next year. Would someone do it? Absolutely.
Yeah, I think. Well, Gallon and them said they would do it if they're like more if we time it better.
Okay.
I didn't. I just kind of just showed up in Scottsdale and asked people. Didn't really plan it out too great, but I got 4 done. But I appreciate everyone watching because this is, let me tell you, the most positive I've ever gotten, and I'm not going to take it for granted because it's going to turn soon. So,
Marty, can I read some
appreciate
stats?
you all watching, and if you haven't watched, go watch.
Marty, I want to read some stats just to hype you up a bit more. These are some MVP winners' stats versus Greg Weissert. We know Shohei Ohtani 0 for 2 with 2 strikeouts. Mike Trout 0 for 1 with a flyout. Christian Yelich 0 for 1 with a strikeout. That's 3 MVP winners that haven't been able to hit Greg Weissert.
I don't know what to tell you.
Pretty good.
And it was funny. That was a crack. That was a
hit it hard. You hit it hard for sure.
I'm glad you had a legitimate hit. You know what I mean? It wasn't like a coin toss.
Out the second. I wish it hit Dana. That would have made the video better.
If you didn't have the screen there, which is awesome, by the way, I wish we all had that growing up. Would you have thought the inside out poke against Bauer would have been a hit?
The way it came off my bat, it was either a hit or foul. It wasn't like it was. I knew that one. The second one could have been. I have no idea if that would have. I know I got some lift on it, but not too far.
Yeah. I thought that ball would have dropped.
I think
from the screen, it looked like it would have.
Yeah. Well, also Bauer was like, it's not. It's your screen, dude. This is your setup. It's not. Now you're saying your own shit's stupid.
Let's go baseball real quick, Smitty. Last headline before the picks. Philly cancels Dollar Dog Night. Last year was kind of a shit show in terms of fist fight. Not fist fight, but food fight, food fight.
Thank you.
Food fight.
Thank you.
Food fight.
There's a food fight in the stands, and the concession lines are long. Look, Dollar Dog Night's been going down for 27 years. 27 years. That's pre 9/11. That's longer than Sass and Miss Peaches have been alive combined. 27 fucking years. And you're going to pull this happy horse shit, Phillies? It's unacceptable. It's tyranny. That's what it is. It's tyranny. And the fact that they have the city by the balls and are doing this right before opening day, it's unacceptable.
The one thing I have of this across all 4 sports, can't do free beer, but if your team is guaranteed to not make the playoffs, should there be free concessions at the last home game?
Absolutely.
Knicks have done it a couple of times.
He did the beer.
And it worked out. No beer, but like soft drinks, snacks. You set it up where it's like there's just a bunch of stuff. The people are still getting paid, but the stadium eats it.
Some of that shit's going to go bad anyway.
They all should for the last home
Yeah,
game of
fuck
the
it,
year.
why
Right?
not?
Yeah.
why
It's
not?
just a way of like easing. Like, yeah, we didn't make the playoffs, but this is a gift back to the
Fan appreciation.
the fans. Yeah,
Should
fan
just make it a
appreciation.
thing.
night.
If we don't make the playoffs, it'll always be free the last game.
Yeah, just have disco demolition night every night.
Agreed.
Your team sucks. Oh, and the most hypocritical thing about the Phillies no dollar dog nights, the Fanatic still rolling around in his hot dog cannon, which I love. I mean, it's great, and he's earned it. But he's almost killed people with that thing before.
Yeah.
You tell me that a couple wieners being launched in the stands with hands are unacceptable, but the guy is allowed to go with a fucking howitzer, like committing manslaughter across South Philly? I love it. Don't take it away from him, but why can't you have both?
Exactly. Picks, Marty. What are you on tonight?
I am on Ohio State -3.5. Do you like that?
Wrong. I'm on Nebraska.
You're on
I would say
Nebraska?
they
I just want to back a team.
something.
Nebraska seems like a team
Fun.
since December that's going to be in the tournament. They got to win this game, and I know that's what bubble teams do: lose these games. Nebraska
They're
wins
on
this
the
game.
bubble.
What?
20-8. Like I know
They're still around. Like
they're
around.
I don't think they're technically. I think they're a little above it right now.
I would say it's dangerous.
This will
right
hurt.
now.
This will hurt them.
Yeah, I think they
I
they like
wasn't-
cement
They
themselves.
found something
They
a
s-
little bit.
yeah,
I think they clearly something was going on with Holtman. They didn't like him.
agreed. Yeah, maybe a sweater
Memphis
vest.
-4.5. They're confusing this year. Who knows what the fuck's going on with them? Rutgers -6.5 against Michigan because they fucking stink. And I'm going USC +7.5 against Washington State.
F.
Yeah, me and Marty are very similar. I like Ohio State -3. I like the over in the game as well, 144.5. I like USC +7, and I like the over 138.5 in Washington UCLA.
Auburn last night. Fuck.
Oh, brutal, man.
Horrible.
Brutal.
Bad. They were covering most of the game.
And I had a Virginia St. John's both money line and then +7.5 parlay. It was gross.
I jumped in on the Duke first half under. You can get that on DraftKings if you're following in with us on the chat. Different thing. What?
A hit.
Yeah, it hit. Like by 9 actually. I just looked and I was like, ooh, I like that.
They scored more in the second half.
Yeah. I also jumped on a money line parlay of Creighton last night minus like 20,000, I think. Alabama when they were down 5 or 6 in the first half, and who was the third team? Oh, UCF over Oklahoma State in like a war. Took those 3, so that wasn't bad. You can jump on those 2 live. Nebraska +3 tonight, and I like Tarleton State -4.5. If I've been talking about Grand Canyon all year, Tarleton State beat Grand Canyon. If Grand Canyon doesn't get in, it's a 1-bid league. If Grand Canyon doesn't get in, take a look at Tarleton State to upset somebody maybe in the tournament. Very, very good team.
That is my favorite team in the country. I'm not even kidding. The past couple of years, they've been a wagon against the spread.
Yep, very good.
You know, is Billy Gillespie still their coach, or is he
think
out
so.
because of like a heart issue?
No, Gillespie's. Is he there? Yeah, I think he is at Tarleton
But I know he
State.
had a heart
Yes,
issue.
he is.
He had a heart issue in the beginning of the year. I didn't know if he
Yeah,
came
I think
back.
he's back. Clemmer, what do you got?
I'm on the Heat +5. It's in Denver, which is always tough, but the Heat have won 5 in a row, and Denver's back-to-back.
Okay. Did they win the first one?
They did. They were at home. Yeah,
I
it's
like
a home
They
back-to-back.
win. Okay, I like if they win the first road, fade them on the next one. Smitty, who do you got next?
Simply following the money. Just following the money. The sharp money all over ECU +4.5
I like that.
Who do they got?
at home against Memphis.
Okay. Oh yeah, Memphis is
Already took Memphis.
I
super
don't hate
fucking
that.
good.
Honestly, that wasn't my. I was a scared bet for myself.
Yeah.
I could see that one.
Following the money.
Memphis is super hard to
Memphis
figure
is
out.
Very, very streaky.
Those teams better be careful. I don't know if Memphis and FAU are in. I also still think South Florida can win that conference. Those two guards, young
Definitely
blood
can.
from
Honestly,
Kennesaw State. What?
Yeah,
They're like
could-
minus 700 to win the conference.
Who?
South Florida.
They have the best conference record.
Conference tournament though. They ain't getting in if they don't win the tournament.
Yeah, yeah.
I think they could maybe. You don't think
Yeah.
so? You think
I don't know, man. They're not even being flirted on the ball. I just know what I think they're really good. They haven't beaten anybody outside. I just know what people say about the bubble, and they're not really on the bubble.
But also,
they had bad start.
Like, not on that bubble.
to be fair with the bubble, it's when you're doing bracketology, they have them written in as the AAC team automatic qualifier.
Okay.
So if you're the AQ on bracketology, you wouldn't be on the bubble.
Yeah, but conference tournament. I mean, those semifinals are going to be a war if they get FAU or
They
Memphis.
got a few good teams. I would say they got a few good teams at the top.
They got a few. Well, but Wichita State's still in that conference, I think. They'll,
Even, what's
they'll
the
be
other-
pesky. They're bad, but they'll be pesky.
No, I'm thinking of two that's decent. Not like tournament. They got South Florida, FAU. Is UAB or what? I'm missing
UAB's
one.
in that conference.
UAB's not bad. There's a few. They got a few good teams at the top.
No, I think
SMU. That's what I'm thinking.
SMU.
SMU's
yes.
pretty good. Like they got some good teams up there.
Yeah, for sure. So, all right, check out the Unnamed show at 11:30. We'll be back tomorrow. That's Pick Central.